To quote, "We were not conquered, we were confused." This quote comes from our African deities at the National Shrines of Afrikas in Amerikkka here in Virginia. Historically, our first major bout with identity confusion probably occurred around 300 AD, Gregorian calendar. Now, for folks who are frequent listeners, you're starting to see a trend. This 300 AD time didn't just pick it out at random. It seems to be a key and critical and pivotal point of our African existence. After centuries of failed invasions or partial invasion attempts by foreigners, at this time, finally Kemet succumbed to the pressure of the colonizers and became Egypt proper. Not only did non-Africans now finally control the known world's most grand powerhouse, but the culture of Kemet at this time became weak, bastardized, confused, and transformed. It seems like Kemet was the locked African door for the rest of the continent, because once Kemet is forced to leave their way, is forced to leave their relationship with Ma'at, Khepera, Amun-Ra, are forced to write in Greek, etc., this led the way for the religious colonization of Ethiopia, the religious colonization of Sudan, which weakened North Africa sufficiently for Arabic cultural and religious incursions. And the spread of the cultural confusion has not stopped to this day. Identity confusion is an after effect of cultural confusion. And with that, who you were, who you are, begins to be shaped only in the ways of the colonizing, conquering group. Kemetic names like Neferat Hafeti gives way for Caesarius Romanticus, if we want to deal with the Roman invasions. Het-Heru is replaced by Hathor, which is then replaced by Aphrodite. 300 years later, new colonizers come, Arabs and Islam. So new gods come, a new culture comes, and new names are forced on African people. 600 years later, new colonizers come, Caucasoids and Christianity. So new gods come, a new culture comes, new names are forced on African people. 400 years after that, colonizers decide to remove African people and forcefully fit them, us, into a new reality. New gods, new culture, new names. I'm deliberately belaboring this historical aspect because one common response of those who say they are not African is that they know nothing of Africa, all they know is America. So this Cliff Notes version of our history was presented to help explain why they only know America and why they don't know Africa. Now, you could argue that was a more circuitous explanation. So let me try to be more direct. For those who say they are American because that's all they know, I would say, would you say that in relation to your employment? Check this out. You go to work, and your boss comes and he requires you to do something you've never done before, you haven't done before. Do you say, boss, I can't do that because this is all I know? If you did, you'd probably be fired. It is expected that you would take part in a small 5-letter word to expand your knowledge base. This 5-letter word, which is so simple, when folks fight against it to continue to pander to their, it's all I know, laziness, we, nation builders, should just shun them so they don't drain our precious energy, drain our precious resources, and drain our precious time. Now, we also have to be agile mentally and quick enough to be able to ascertain someone who is saying that honestly and someone who's saying that disingenuously. And so I'm really right now speaking to those who are saying it disingenuously. Because usually if you share a bit of information that folks didn't know about before, they'll pause, they'll ponder, they'll think about it. They may even leave you and think about it and then come back, you know. And again, brother Jaja had to help me get to that point of being able to more quickly ascertain genuine questions from disingenuous questions. I think I'm there now, brother, so thank you for working with me patiently. When dealing with new, unknown, job-based information, and when dealing with new, unknown, African cultural information, all the "this is all I know" person needs to do, that 5-letter word, LEARN. Learn about your African culture. Learn about your African spirituality. Learn about traditional pre-invasion African cultural values. Learn. Learn how you were deliberately confused from your African self to serve Caucasoid interests on all levels. Learn how things were so we can learn how to transform and adapt the best of ourselves to our present-day realities. Learn what fighters against colonizing forces did and are doing to regain a sense of themselves before colonization and adapt that to your specific needs. Learn. If you can learn a new job skill, if you can learn a new game to teach your children, if you can learn a new damn rap song, if you can learn a new dance to dance in the club, if you can learn something new about your mate, you can definitely learn about your African existence. This is all I know. All I know is Amerikkka response is admitting to intellectual laziness, especially in this information age, and especially with the African-centered information explosion that is presently upon us. Point blank, the excuse, I'm not African because America is all I know, does not fly anymore. And when one lets those words fly out of their mouth, you expose yourself, you expose your insincerity in regards to the race, because with all this information out, to say you are not African, what do you have to offer different to us Africans in regards to solutions? Skin color unity alone has been proven already not to be enough. Voting, marching, protesting, yelling, screaming, shouting, praying, etc. has been proven already not to be enough. What new, workable, viable solutions from within this Caucasoid reality is there left to try? How much longer will we continue to try pseudo-solutions from within Caucasoid reality? How many more times are we going to lie to the future generations and tell them the only reality worth anything is the present Caucasoid one, when they can see that it's even a lie? It is hilarious. Some folks who feel America is the end-all, be-all will have nation in their username, or claim awareness, or claim achievement, or claim to be a leader of blog talk. To claim to be a leader of black talk. Or the most schizophrenic behavior is they'll even have an African name. Now, did you get that last one? Some will say that they are American, but have an African name. All these examples express identity confusion. These types of people and many hundred others do not need a microphone, YouTube access, or blog talk show. They need to sit back with books, audio, video lectures, and learn. The truth of their African identity. Learn the truth of your African identity, and then get back on the talking circuit and impart cultural clarity to the masses versus continuing to spread the disease of cultural confusion. The excuses stop here. Intellectual laziness ends now, especially if you want to have an audience, and especially if you're talking to folks that want to be a part of this African nation that we're rebuilding. Learn, 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 learn. Now, I will go back at the end of this show and put up in the blog tied to this show these 5 books that I'm going to mention. So folks can no longer say, I don't know anything about Africa, and they can no longer say I'm not African, so they can no longer say I'm just American. So 5 good books that really, really explain the African identity. Excuse me. That for these, I'm not African, I'm only American folks, get this in your library. The African Personality in America by Dr. Kobe Cambone. Seeking the Soooo, S-A-K-H-U, by Dr. Wade Nobles. Let the Circle Be Unbroken, and To Be African by Dr. Marimba Ani, and The Maroon Within Us by Dr. Asa Hilliard. If you get and read those 5, just those 5, ain't too much. I mean, Seeking the Soooo is probably the thickest one. All the other ones, about 200, 250 pages. And even Let the Circle Be Unbroken is small. That's under 100 pages. You get those 5 books, you should be able to walk away with a nice, clear sense of your and our African identity. Because we once we clear this identity piece up, then we can move forward with solutions. Then we can move forward arm in arm, in step, culturally. Because right now we're too damn confused, too damn scattered, don't know who we are, but then we want to unite, then we want to get together and do some stuff. And all these different worldviews, all these different conflicting worldviews then come up at the unity table, and they stop all attempts at unity. As I've said before, to quote Dr. Malefi Asante, consciousness precedes unity. So we should probably even stop talking about unity for a minute and get this identity piece down and get some cohesive consciousness down first within a large group of us, and then move forward towards unity, and then move forward towards nation building.